is going to be about all my goats, who they are, introduction with everybody, who's related to who, whose baby is who, and the order in which I got said goats. So do not use your horns for violence. No, I'm gonna just hold them. This is what I have to do if he chooses to be kind of ornery. So all my goats started with this one, Mr. Buzz here. He is the reason I now have goats. He's a very sweet boy. He'll be 2 this July. Am I gonna have a party? Yeah, probably will. But I just think it would be good for everybody that's new here to learn about all my goats. I'm gonna tell you their names, the order that I got the goats, and if they have registered names or not, and all the things. So I hope you guys enjoy this longer video. And all the goats started with Buzz, who came from Katie. I didn't even know that I was getting Buzz when I met Buzz. So it's just one of those things where, you know, happy accident. And then of course Buzz had to have friends. And then of course goats come in lots of colors. So I now have a goat rainbow. So I just think it'd be really good to introduce everybody to all of them, because people that are new here know Petunia and Calvin, but they may not know Rory or Prada or any of them. So that's what we're going to be doing in our next long video. So Buzz here came from my friend Katie. So if you all don't know, Katie Van Slyke used my Jack, Hank, and then Glenn this year. And the first year she had baby goats, I was down to pick up my donkeys, and she had baby goats. So Buzz was one of Buzz, Bee, and Honey. And so when I was down there, this little man, like, he was all over me, all over my lap, all over, you know, just loving on me, and I was loving it. And I told Josh, I said, I think I need a goat. And he said, no, we're not gonna get a goat. You don't need a goat. You can see how that's working out for him right now. And see, Buzz originally was supposed to go to Becca. That's who he was supposed to go to. And then Bella, her other goat, had twin boys, who Becca chose to have the twin boys, and said, and then Katie messaged me and was like, oh, well, if you really want Buzz, Becca's gonna take the twins. You can have Buzz. And I said, yes, 100%. Ergo, Josh having to build an entire goat pasture for Buzz. So it all started with him. He is kind of the star. He is a wether. He's not a buck, meaning his testiculars are no longer in his body, which makes him a lovable pet and not a stinky, nasty boy. So obviously, since we got Buzz, Buzz has to have a friend, right? Which brings me to goat number 2 that I got. So Buzz needed a friend, so I found Miss Opal here, which is how I connected with one of my goat friends, Amber. And Opal is, her registered name is Homesteading Opal. She's a Nigerian dwarf, and she's a silver. So she was my goat number 2. Not this one, this silver one. Which silver one? I don't know, there's so many. So Miss Opal here was my second goat that I got for Buzz as a friend. Hello, Sylvie. And so she is one of my favorite gals for sure. She is so sweet. And she, you know, she's a real chill girl. She is the queen out here. She is the head doe. She is the doe that everybody respects and looks to for, you know, getting out of the way, or she will headbutt them for sure. So anywho, that was Miss Opal. And then I got Minnie and Penelope. So the reason I got Miss Opal was because Minnie and Penelope were not weaned. So this is Penelope right here, and this is Minnie. So they're my only 2 does with horns, as Buzz jumps on Noah. So Penelope and Minnie actually have the same birthday. So they are birthday twins, and they are half sisters. They have different moms. And I got them from Michigan. And they will be 2 this year as well as Buzz. They are basically the same, around the same age as him. Opal here will be 3 next year. So Minnie and Penelope came from Michigan. So I had Buzz, Opal, Minnie, and Penelope. So I got Opal and then these 2, which, you know, I have several colors. I think I need a couple other colors too, right? So then, you know, I think I need a gold goat, obviously, which led me to Miss Gabby here. Sylvie, are you just gonna get in everybody's video? So Miss Gabby here, I got from Amber too, so she came from the same place as Opal. And Miss Gabby was bred when I got her. So she was pregnant. I didn't know how many. I did know when she was due. She was due March 18th. And Miss Gabby here is she is my oldest though. She is going to be 5 this year, I think. But she's a beautiful girl, and she had a single, which would technically be my next goat. So let's go meet her. So Gabby was pregnant when I got her, and she had this beautiful buskin blue-eyed doeling, and her name is Zoe. So her register name is Zigzag Zoe, so it's clutch of color, Zigzag Zoe is what I ended her name with. And she will be 2 in March. Her birthday was March 18th. So this was my first baby goat to be born on the farm. Buzz, you know, not everything's about you. They've about broke this. I gotta get Josh to fix it. Oh, Buzz, that was rude. Is everything about you? So my sweet baby girl, Zoe, she was not bottle fed at all, but she thinks she's a bottle baby. She's a snuggle bug. She's a lovey girl, and we just love her, and she loves to cuddle. And anyways, everybody swears she's a bottle baby, but she's not. She's just the bestest girl. Come on, Sylvie, up. Show everybody. You wanted to be in the video. It is now your time. Come up here. Sylvie. Everybody wants to see how pretty you are. I'm gonna put you up here. Okay. Now that she is sort of cooperating, my next goat that I got was Miss Sylvie here, because I fell in love with the silver goats so much. So Sylvie was a bottle baby. She was my next goat that I got. She is a silver with blue eyes. She is incredibly beautiful. She's probably one of my nicest goats that I have. So anyways, she was a bottle baby, and you can definitely tell because she is very people oriented. She is leash trained. You can hook her up on a leash and walk her around, and she thinks it's delightful. I could probably take her to TSC and she would just be so happy to just be there, see the people, all the things. So that is Miss Sylvie. Her registered name is Holly Cottage Wonderstruck is her name. All right, my next goat is Miss Rory, and her registered name is Leisure Family Farm Rory. And I got Miss Rory this past year as an anniversary present from Josh. How funny how that works out. We weren't going to have goats, and now they're my presents. So Miss Rory was bred when I got her to a silver buck, which I will go into depth with that in just a minute. But she was bred, and she was x-rayed and ultrasounded with triplets, and she ended up having twins. So the one was actually underdeveloped, and instead of like goats losing pregnancies, she sealed it off, and it just stayed in that small state until the other two came out, which is really interesting. But yes, she had twins this year, so she was my next goat that I got. So now the next ones are actually going to be her baby that I kept. So let's go meet her baby. All right, so this is her baby. This is Prada. So she had twins. Her brother actually lives in Washington State now as a buck. So this is Prada. Her registered name, I settled on a simple clutch of color Prada. She is all white with these stunning black boots. She is a very chunky gal. She's eating well for sure. But this is a doeling that I retained, and her sire was silver, like Sylvie, and actually Sylvie's dad and her dad are the same. So they are half sisters on the dad's side. So this is Miss Prada. She was born in March 8th, I think is her birthday. And she was one of the babies this year. Oh, so Gemma here. So Opal was the next one that kidded for me this spring, and her baby is Gemma. Gemma does not like held. Gemma's a very independent gal. She was a single, and her dad is actually a buck that I co-own, and his name is Striker. Oh, that was rude, Minnie. So she is silver. She's a silver buckskin, and her register name is Clutch of Color Gemma. It's nothing crazy. Very simple. And then for the two that everybody knows probably the most are my bottle babies. Now let me talk about this for a minute because it was never on my bingo card this year to have bottle babies. So this is Calvin, the floofy pants little man, and Petunia. So Petunia and Calvin lived in my house for 2 months this winter as bottle babies. Now, you're probably thinking, where is their mother? That is a wonderful, wonderful question. So their mom was Callie, and Miss Callie, unfortunately, popped a abscess under her neck. So if you're looking at her, her abscess was right here. And in goats, if they do that, you need to biopsy it and see what's going on because they can carry a disease called CL. And she was from a clean tested herd. She had her test results done in, oh, don't bite my hair off, in December. And she tested clean. So I had her for maybe a month and a half before that popped up, which means that she was already exposed to it prior to. And it is one of those diseases that if you have healthy goats, you do not want to expose them to it. It's just something that is herd management. So my options were to do the bad thing and, put her to sleep, which is not something that I was really wanting to do, and or find a positive herd for her to go live out her life with. So I chose the second. So my wonderful followers shared her story and we found her a lovely, lovely home. She lives with a group of positive herd. Her best friend is named Elliot. And so what we did was, the reason these are bottle babies is that the vet said there is a chance that it can pass through her milk to her babies. But other than that, the abscess was sealed, completely sealed. So she was able to have her babies and it be okay. And as long as that abscess was sealed, the only risk that we had was if they drank her milk. Now, which led us to watching her like a hawk all night. So she popped these little suckers out at about 2:30 in the morning. I literally ran out there. We grabbed them so fast. They were not even dried off. And I brought them inside and I put them on bottles. I had colostrum replacer and all the things for them. I did not want bottle goats, y'all. Okay. It's just not something that I really wanted to do, but we were kind of forced into it. And then what we did was, which she was a dairy goat, a really high production dairy goat. And she was used to having her babies pooled at birth so that she could be used as a milker. And so this wasn't really anything like super out of the ordinary for her. She did not even care that they were gone. Petunia, that is the microphone. She has no personal space. It's a problem. But anyway, so we pulled them immediately and basically, raised them in my house. It was cold, really cold, ergo they slept in my living room. Henry took them on as, his babies that were living in the house. And it was just one of those things where it was an unfortunate situation, but we tried the best that we could with what we had. So I was able to keep her babies. She literally went like one day later to her new herd. They took care of her like lactation and stuff, which she dried up really fast. And she's living up there very happily, way happier than she would be here. And everybody's like, oh, I guess this is one of the biggest questions that I have is why don't I just make an entire separate pen and have her live in it? Well, the problem is if she did get an abscess, so the only time that it can be transferred is when the abscess is draining. And that bacteria gets in the ground, it gets on buckets, on the feeders, all that kind of stuff. That's when it becomes extremely contagious. Her abscess was drained and taken care of at the vet's office, never on this farm. And I check, it's so funny. I pat down all my goats for the last 3 months, checking and making sure I didn't miss anything from anybody. And everybody's fine. Everybody's good, which means she got it prior to coming here. And anyways, so if I did make a separate pasture, it would be really hard. I would have to change my shoes and all my clothing going from that pasture to here. Excuse you. And it's just, honestly, I found her a wonderful home. There's not much, I just don't want the chance of contaminating my healthy goats. And she is living her absolute best life. And she's being so well taken care of up there. And, and I got a beautiful little mini me from her because she was super moon spotted. So I got little Miss Petunia here, who looks just like her mom. So Petunia got her name. Her name was going to be CJ for Callie Jr. Do not eat my hair. No, do not eat the microphone. Okay, we're gonna put you down. You're not responsible enough to be held right now. So her name was gonna be CJ for Callie Jr. because she looks so much like her mom. And Josh refused to call her that. Okay, he hated that name. He wanted nothing to do with that name. So he started calling her his little Petunia. Well, she started responding to little Petunia, and he would hold her and call her his little Petunia. And anyways, it stuck. So her name is Petunia. It was not supposed to be Petunia, but it is. So anywho, and then Calvin is just Calvin. He's a menace to society. He lost his apron. I'm pretty sure she tore his apron off last night. So I gotta put it back on. But anyways, so that's the story of my bottle babies. No, I did not want bottle babies. I did not pull them on purpose. I did not pull them for any reason other than what was best for them. And Buzz is just having an absolute moment. What are you doing? We don't know. It's Buzz. So anyways, yeah, that's Petunia and Calvin, which were my last two additions. And that's all my goats. That's all of them. So I hope you all enjoyed learning about all of them. And let me know which one you would like to know more about, or know more, their backstory or their baby photos if I had them as a baby, which obviously I have these two from literally their moments of birth. So anywho, those are my goats that Josh said that we were not going to have. And now I have all the goats. So it's dinner time here. So I think they are ready to have their food and their hay, and the chaos will ensue. All right, so Buzz has to be put in his kennel for dinner time. So let's go do that. Go. So Buzz, kennel. Do you see what a good boy he is? He goes right into his kennel for dinner time. And for those of you wondering, no, he cannot jump out of this. You know how I know? Because somebody who will remain nameless, Josh, may have left him locked in here before for like an hour on accident, because we might have forgot. And the only indication was I walked in and he went, meh. I'm like, what was that? And it was Buzz in his kennel. So he gets an activity mat and a pan in there with just a little bit of food. So everybody wonders why he's locked in here. And honestly, the main reason is because he is a wether, meaning he is a castrated male goat, and they can get urinary stones if they eat too much grain, which can be extremely fatal and extremely painful for them. And the solution is to offer him as much hay as he wants, so he gets free choice hay. And yeah, that's all he needs to stay obviously nice and chunky, because he's round. He looks like he's due any day. But this is literally for his own good. And as soon as the girls are done eating, he gets let out. So he's not in here forever, except for that one time for the person who will remain nameless. So anywho, that is why Buzz is in the kennel. It is not for any other reason than his health. So let's go feed the other goats. Are you ready for this? You ready for this? This is like a full contact sport, is feeding time. So I'm going to spin around here. I have the feed, ergo everybody will mug me. And you gotta take like short shuffling steps, because you will maybe step on a goat. So I'm gonna go fill the pans that are flipped. Yes, I am. Stop. Ah, goats all over me. Okay, so that'll get rid of a few of them. So during the winter, I do feed them inside, but while it's nice weather and stuff out here, they get fed outside. A couple of reasons. It's easier, a lot more space. They're not very nice during feeding time sometimes. So Penelope and Minnie use their horns for violence, especially during feeding time. So sometimes I have to come in here and run interference so that people don't get horned. People being the hornless goats. See, look. See, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna run you off. So yeah, she has very bad manners. But anyways, we stand out here, we make sure everybody is eating. So another question I get is, Elena, how do you know everybody's getting what they need? Do you see a skinny goat in this pen? No. So fun fact about this little trio, Gabby was their like step-in surrogate mother in there when I was bringing them out to learn to goat, my bottle babies. And she's who I chose to put them. And she is like legit, like taken them on as kind of like her tiny children, which is really fun. Calvin, there's nothing in there. I'm about to run Penelope off that bowl. But yeah, how do you know everybody's getting what they need? Well, nobody looks skinny. So that's basically it. See, this is why. So now I'll go and run her off of there, and she can go eat with her horned sister, Minnie, and the others can get feed. So this is what we have to do. I have to come out here. So she's not pregnant. She has no babies. She has nothing. So anyhow, yeah, I'm not the biggest of fans of the horned goats because they do use them for violence, especially during feeding time. And unfortunately, they cannot be disbudded or whatever because that has to be done before they hit like 2 weeks old. They're obviously almost 2 years old, so there's not much I can do about that. So while they are occupied with feed is when I fill their hay rack. Now I'm gonna have to get a new bale down, but for right now, this should tide them over for a while. So let's put that in. Yes, you starved goats. Never seen hay. Oh my goodness. Look how chunky she is. She is so chunky. She's a little happy baby. They all are, really. Once again, none of my animals are underweight or underfed. So anyhow, they're very excited about their new hay. All right, I'm gonna let Buzz out. Yes, Buzz, I'm gonna let you out. You done? Yeah? Okay, out you go. He's got to lick the bowls clean. He's got to make sure nobody forgot anything. He will check every single bowl and make sure there's not a trace of feed. It's like a bloodhound of goats. There's a kernel, he will find it.
All right, the burning question is, what's the next color of goat that you're gonna get?
Let's hope Josh is not tuning in to this video. So the next color that I would really love to have is a black goat with like silver or brown moon spots. Kind of like Petunia, but like darker. I have a lot of light colored goats. I would like maybe another darker one, kind of like Zoe, but like spotted. So like, if y'all got what I'm looking for, let me know. Calvin just bit him. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm on the hunt for. So anyhow, shh, don't tell Josh. All right, so my farm manager and I are here. Miss Stella Bella, she's outside during these lovely months. Mostly, she's probably gonna leave us here. There she goes. So now I got hair all over me. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and getting to meet all of my goats. Kind of like the backstory on each one, when I got them, the order that I got them in, and who they're related to. So if there's any particular goat that you would like more information on or another longer video, let us know in the comments, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you're alerted to our new videos that come out. And stay tuned because I have something really special for the next video and I can't wait to share.